China. But one quick question. There's a lot of talk of the Biosecure Act being passed in the US this week and the impact that it could have on CRO, CDMO. Is that something which is very big, or is it something that is difficult to analyze right now?
No, it is a significant. It's a significant move. You may not see the impact of it in the top lines of companies for 1-2 years, but structurally it will open up a whole new, opportunity. The target market incrementally can be quite large.
Got it. So significant viewers, but not immediately. Now, Mihir, one final word, and I started with macro. I'm ending with macro. The only difference is I started off with the Fed and central banks, and I'm ending with China. You look at these correlations very, very closely. I would love to know, China deflating the way it is and the impact that it has on growth globally, because it's such a large portion of the global economy, and the impact that it has on commodities per se as well, because it's such a huge guzzler of commodities until it started deflating. What is the slightly medium-term impact that you foresee if China continues to deflate the way it is currently?
Specifically for commodities, you are asking?
In general and in commodities both. I would love to pick your brains on everything that you think about when you think of China.
Sure. So first of all, I don't believe that China GDP growth is going to come back for a long period of time, just because they have peaked out in terms of working age population 4 years ago. Second is they have also created all the infrastructure and real estate that they need. So there is a huge oversupply of infrastructure. There is a huge oversupply of real estate in China. And both these, of course, are huge guzzlers of commodities. So it's not a very good scenario for Chinese consumption of commodities. And China happens to be half the market, or 70-80% of the market in certain commodities globally. So I think commodity price inflation is not going to come back in a hurry. That's my base case. The other risk that you rightly pointed out is that because China needs to keep supporting its growth, and if you can't build more infra, if you can't build more real estate, what do? So they are ramping up manufacturing, and they are ramping up manufacturing not only on the commodity plays like say your luggage and toys and stuff like that, but they are actually going high tech also. So that, I think, in terms of deflation, will continue structurally, and you will see China becoming more dominant. The hope is that, of course, in companies like India, Vietnam, etc., will come up as alternate manufacturing base to China. But China is not going to let that go easily, because they also need to keep growing. So it's going to be a race. While we are very positive on Indian manufacturing, etc., it's not like it's going to fall in our laps without us doing anything. We really have to work hard towards it.
So therefore, just final quick 30 seconds or 60 seconds. If China does expand its manufacturing capacities the way it did in the past, or maybe more than that, and even if there are duties, if goods which are cheaper land in neighboring countries in a much lower cost, then it has an impact on product price inflation for manufactured products even in India, right? Even if there are duties on Chinese imports. Does that therefore make the attractiveness of the Make in India story slightly lower?
See, we'll have to be smart about it, and I think the government also realizes it. So you have, for example, of course, duty is there. We'll have to be smarter about the free trade agreements that we are signing. For example, you can't, let other countries act as a conduit. And third is that there are non-tariff barriers that also what we have seen from time to time that the government use, like BIS hallmarking, etc., which kind of is not, which makes it a bit difficult for Chinese companies to import, etc. So I think there is awareness within the system, and PLI is another way of countering it. So on one hand you have tariffs, and on the other hand you have kind of PLI incentives for manufacturing, which makes it cheaper. So I think we are trying to go about it, from all sides. And we are seeing good progress. At least the last 2, 3, 4 years have been very heartening in terms of electronics and a lot of other sector. But as I said, you can't be sleeping at the wheel. We'll have to be continuously vigilant and proactive.
Got it. Mihir Vora, such a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for taking the time out and being with us, and look forward to talking to you in person soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Mir Vora of Trust MF. With that, it's a wrap on this leg of Talking Point. Thanks so much for tuning in.